Hey everybody, happy Saturday. We had an amazing, interesting week. But here we are. We are here again for our weekly review of the futures. So again, we will be covering NASDAQ, SPY, oil, and gold. So we actually had such a big week in earnings this week. Um, it is what it is, right? This is the market. This is the game. We learn how to play the game correctly and move around accordingly, right? So let's get into NAS. So NASDAQ, we are still in bearish territory, although there were some good signs of reversal that happened earlier, but I do still feel like we are still in the bearish territory. And I say that because price is just making higher lows. Um, we're looking at some major it's just interesting. Like we're still doing some bearish moves. Now, currently we are in this my golden thick lines right here is the 0.61 and the point 0.5 fib area. So this is why I'm not surprised that we had a nice reversal in this area because we did go inside this usual range of reversal. So I'm interested to see if we are still going to be heading down to the point 0.5 area to grab some more money for a reversal. We there's not much to say. We are still in earnings. We are still in the summertime, so I'm not too shocked that we're still in bearish territory. So what I would still like to see is price come down to this point 0.5 area, fib area, and actually have a strong, like we did in this area when we got to here, we had a nice strong buy candle and then we kind of just zoomed up. We did not take out this high here, this swing high here at the on the 4 hour, of course, at 28,770. We did not take that high out. So we did do a rejection and coming down. So if we're still true to being bearish, I would be expecting us to continue selling down past this low of 27,192 to hit the area of the point 0.5 area of 26,770 and then do a reversal and then start trying to make those higher highs. Um, or if so, if not, we're going to continue doing bear territory. Not sure what we're going to be doing true big picture form, but we're right back at a nice support area. We came through, sold off, did a couple of retests, and we ended on a red candle. So let's see how we go for this week coming in if we're going to continue to sell down. Because some earnings, we do have some big boys on the earnings as well that could contribute to a NASDAQ selling down as well. All right, so that's NASDAQ that I have. Don't have too much update. We're not too far away from our fib areas of where we will be looking for buys. Again, market structure wise, almost took out these highs, but did not. We basically rejected this support here at this 28,740. And then because of that rejection, I would be still looking down for a sell down. Not too sure if I'm looking for it to take out this low. I would be happy to take out this low because then that would bring us to our point 0.5 area and then start looking for areas of personal reversal and a nice strong pullback up. All right. So that is NASDAQ. Let's go on to SPY ES. Um, SPY hasn't moved as much like NAS, and we know that it doesn't really move as strongly as NAS does, right? Um, SPY has been interesting with structure wise. I know that the SPY and NASDAQ do follow closely, but for me, SPY has been acting slightly off script. But let's just get into it. So we did have some price that was below this trend line here. As you can see, we had several touches here. We had this one, two, three, four, came all the way down. We took out this previous low at 7,350, did not take out this low of 729, 7,290. Now, granted, we do have a long way to go for our point 61 and point 5 fib. All right, we are away from this price action, and this is the larger picture fib range. So, like I said, it is very interesting to see how SPY is working. So we still did not take out this low, as I've said, at 7,290. We did have a reversal, a strong push in this area, and then we had a rejection at the price of 7,540. So, um, SPY to me, I mean, I would still say this is bearish territory, but also it's kind of like that territory of like it can go either way. But this was a strong rejection right here, but also we had a strong rejection right here for the buyer stepping in and pushing price up. So definitely interested to see what SPY is doing. Usually I would say, oh, we're going to be following the blueprint of NASDAQ, but um, yeah, I don't think that's safe to really say. Price action is actually acting a little bit different to me. It's a little bit out of character, but because like if we look at market structure wise, we did take out this previous high here at 7,520, and we did get rejected below the price of 7,565. Actually rejected at this 540. So, um yeah, let's just watch. I'm not going to say anything. I can't say anything because I can't see anything. So no need for me to be acting like I'm Miss Cleo and I just can't see anything. Next one is gold. So gold for me is still quite bearish. I know we're over this trend line here that I have, but price is really bouncing off of this trend line here that I have here. It's several bounces. And technically, if we're looking at structure, we are definitely in consolidation. No real big moves have been made. No real clear direction. If we do look at this kind of triangle that's forming here, we do have price seemingly to try to keep bouncing out of it. I'm looking for it to clearly bounce out of 4,180 area. That is what I'm looking for me to say the trend is what the trend is. But because we keep bouncing on this trend line, I'm not sure if we're bouncing for accumulation to go up or if we're bouncing on this trend line for to sell down. If we are selling down, we have some areas of still interest for us. Area interest is 3,960, 3,790, as well as 3,670. Now, why I do still believe this 70 is still in play in this area, this red box of concern, is because about a year ago is where we also had the major consolidation before we did the zoom up. So I do feel like price is trying to get down here to tap wherever buyers are here that made that big swing move up from previous before. But again, gold, you already know gold does whatever it wants to do. You can't tell gold what to do because gold's going to do what gold's going to do. Period. But I would not be surprised if we are selling downward to this area of interest instead of upward. But we shall see how things go. Last but not least, we have oil. So oil currently is let's talk about oil. So oil still on technical analysis wise, we're still on an uptrend. We did have a nice pullback. We came back to this support line of $77.70 where we had a large area of consolidation of where money is sitting at. So looking in the area of interest that I have here, we have a gap here between, let's zoom in on this one. because when you're on the 4 hour, it doesn't change. But so basically, what I was saying, sorry, was that we are still bullish. Okay, we tapped down on this great support here at 77.77 or 78. This is where we had a nice time of accumulation here. Money sitting right in this area. So we tapped in here and then we zoomed up. We do have a small gap here. I can chart that later, as well as going up here. So because we bounced off of here, okay, so market structure wise, we have a nice bounce here. Um, didn't take any out these lows here, but we did take out this low right here. But because we came to the support area right here where money was sitting, I am more inclined to continue this bullish move. So we do have this nice little bounce here, and we're going into this gap area here. So would like to see the gap close. I'm not sure if we're going to take out any highs of right here of 90. I don't have any gaps up higher. I can go seek and find, that's not a problem, but I don't really see any more potential gaps up further. So if we're looking at the blueprint, I would be expecting for this gap to close and then come down, which would technically make us on a bearish move downward, which would make sense because if we don't take out this high and we reject off of this high, we would start selling off and then start selling back down to this gap that we have down this word. Now, we could always continue going back up because we're still technically on a bull move, right? So market structure tells us that we bounce off of here and now we're making higher lows, right? So we're going, this low did not come down here at all. So we're going up here. So I do believe that the target is to one, fill the gap, and two, possibly come here and reject off. If not, then we're looking for it to take out this high and continue up and then do a pullback and continue up. But I'm not sure what the status is overseas. I haven't heard too much over there. The news has been quiet, but also I'm not looking for it either. I just want the trust to tell me what's going on. I really don't want to get into propaganda. So market structure wise, I do feel like we're going to close this gap, pull back, probably do a nice kind of pull up here and then start to sell back down and then sell to this gap. Now, depending on how we open, if we gap up, we're also, when we come back down, we'll probably fill that gap and then start really bleeding off and going down to this area. So that's my a little prediction for oil. Looking for a finish of a bull going up here, close this gap to do a pullback, try to hit again, and then start to sell off. So we have about 1, 2, 3 taps on this trend line. Um, Once we come back through, it could be that final breakthrough and start selling back off down here. And then I think that is all. Oh, no, we have some gaps down here in the $58 range. I do think we also have some lower ones as well. But that's what we're trying to do at this point. All right, so that's what we have here for the futures on oil. Let's continue to enjoy your Saturday. I'm just doing it because I actually work tonight. So I wanted to kind of get ready for Sunday night opening, which I can't wait because I'll be so bored when the weekend is here. But anyway, happy weekend. You guys have a great one, and I will see you guys on the charts.